I'll just start with like how our paths crossed. I think that's a beautiful like story. I really think that. This is 2024 today, right now, and so this was 2022, so 2 years ago. I was in Gainesville, Florida, um, and the decision to come to Austin was made probably in June or July of 2022. Come to find out, I think that you started doing your classes, the movement classes, right around the same time
Very much.
here in Austin at Austin Bouldering Project. Anyways, so that's the decision. Like me and my partner were like, we should move like fairly quickly. And come to find out, in 2 months, we were in Austin. We had moved, we're in Austin. And fast forward, in January of 2023 is when I joined the gym, and I had learned about movement practice. Not That could mean so many things, and I had my own version of so many things, because I had heard about movement practice from Ido Portal, and that's one of the first things that I actually said that to you about after the class. And I remember you were saying like, man, I don't really mess with what he teaches, so to speak. But anyway, so that's January of 2023 is when I went to your first like movement class, and I just found it very, very. I found my curiosity, the language of curiosity, be intrigued without me consciously knowing about it. There was a force that was telling me, this is fascinating and I want to come to this more. Because I had actually explored at that time different movement classes at the same gym as well. I was like, this is the one that is speaking to me and I want to show up to this. Even though it's on Monday at 4:00, and then time goes on and I still hadn't committed to like coming like consciously, where like this is a non-negotiable. I have to do this, and life experiences, the universe, and actually showed me that that's the most important thing for me, and so that it eventually got to a point where, that's the class that's a non-negotiable that I attend, no matter what. Yeah,
I'll go with the same time frame. A little back, I've been in the movement industry now, going on 26 years. I think maybe going into my 27th year. So dating back to like 1998, really longer than that because I was an athlete before that, but that's when I stepped into being a professional. So around 2022, we're literally coming out of COVID. And COVID was a really amazing time for me. I'm a natural introvert, so I know it was rough on the plane in general, but my experience was a gift for me personally, because it put me in a place of being more introspective, and out of that, I base all my decisions on guidance. So I do a lot of breath, meditation, journaling, and my guidance directed me towards, it's time to teach a class live, which is, was really uncomfortable because it's not, even though I do the things that I do, that I'm a really lazy creature. So the things that require me to work are not the things that I necessarily want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm directed to do them, it's like, well,
we're talking about hard work being work.
Right.
It's kind of like that.
Being work. Yeah. And so I was told to teach a class, and I was told to pick a time that was a terrible time for everybody. Mm-hmm. Needed to be convenient for me. I think my first class I started on Sundays, and I only did that for a few months, and it just didn't work. It wasn't a good time for me. And so I literally picked, I wanted the worst time that I possibly could, 4:00 on a Monday, because that's going to be a time that's really hard for people to get to. And I was told the reason for that is if you pick a tough time, you're going to have small class. And if you're able to build a decent number of people who are coming regularly at a difficult time, then that's going to be a good signal that what you're teaching is good.
Yeah.
That you're teaching something worth teaching. Because it's easy to fill a class at 6 p.m. at that gym. If you go to the 6 p.m. class, it doesn't matter if you're like, nobody really cares who the instructor is. They're going because it's 6 p.m. in his class.
It's convenient.
So that was my reasoning for picking that time. And it's still slow. Like, the last few weeks, it's only been 3 people. Like generally when we get into the regular part of the year, we had up to 8 to 10 people fairly regularly. And hopefully it'll get back to that once we get into the new year again. And maybe we'll slowly bring in 1 or 2 more people over the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my
Timeline.
My timeline on coming into that. Yeah.
I think it's magic. It can't be described in other ways. Hey, if you enjoyed this clip, I'd recommend that you check out other clips here on this channel. Or I'd even suggest diving into a longer podcast right here on this channel or any of the platforms where you listen to the podcast. Thank you for being here. And if you enjoy this conversation, then share this with your friends and subscribe to the channel.